Bismillah wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulillah. Sorry, they want me to stand for the cameras, that's why I'm standing. Uh, this, these 10 days, the ones that we are in, there is a hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam, ما من أيام أحب إلى الله تعالى أن يتعبد له فيها من هذه الأيام العشر, that there are no 10 days in the entire year that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves to be worshipped more than these 10 days. And the 10 days that are being referred to here are not actually in the month of Ramadan. They are these 10 days, the first 10 days of the month of Dhul-Hajj. And further in the hadith, the Prophet ﷺ actually tells us what we need to do during these 10 days. He says, فَأَكْثِرُوا فِيهِنَّ مِنَ التَّهْلِيلِ وَالتَّكْبِيرِ وَالتَّحْمِيدِ, that you increase during these 10 days. At-Tahleel refers to saying La ilaha illallah. At-Tahmeed refers to praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And At-Takbir refers to saying Allahu Akbar, glorifying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is why, what do we say during these 10 days? Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah, Wallahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar walillahi alhamd. Because what we say here incorporates all three of these. The praise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Tahmeed, it incorporates the glorification of Allah, At-Takbir, and it also incorporates La ilaha illallah. So this is why. Now, in general, there are a few things that we need to do during these 10 days. Some of these we talked about before we started. One is that those who intend to perform the udhiyah, the sacrifice, the qurbani, should abstain from trimming their fingernails or hair on any part of their body. Right? So this is including your face, your mustache, a hair on any part of your body, right? And your fingernails. This you should abstain from this until your udhiyah or your sacrifice is complete. So whether it is complete on the first day of Eid, the second, the third, it doesn't matter. Whenever your sacrifice is complete, that is when you can resume doing this. So this is according to the various scholars. I mentioned this before we began, but for those who didn't catch it at that time, in the Hanafi school, this is sunnah. It is sunnah to abstain from cutting your fingernails and your hair. And in the remaining schools, it's wajib. So for those who intend to perform the sacrifice, it is necessary for them to abstain from cutting their fingernails and their hair on any part of their body. The second is these takbirat. So in general, the takbirat should be recited for the entirety of the 10 days whenever you have the opportunity. So, whenever you are going somewhere, you are walking, you are sitting, you are driving somewhere, you should increase in the recitation of this takbir. And we all know the takbir, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar walillahi alhamd. You should recite this constantly. And then specifically, beginning on Fajr on the 9th of Dhul-Hijjah, so Fajr on Tuesday, all the way until Asr on the 13th of Dhul-Hijjah, so Asr on July 1st, right? You should recite these takbirat. It is necessary to recite them once after every fard salah. So for men, we will recite it audibly in a loud voice together. Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, walillahi alhamd. And this is whether you are performing salah individually or whether we are performing salah in congregation. Everybody will recite these takbirat. And for women, they will also recite the takbirat, but in a silent voice. Silent means that in a voice that only those who are sitting immediately next to them can hear. It is not recommended that women raise their voice when they are reciting the takbirat. So these are the takbirat. The third is, of course, fasting. So it is recommended to fast as much as you can for the first 10 days. Well, realistically, the first 9 days of the month of Dhul-Hijjah, it is haram to fast on the 10th, 11th, 12th, and according to the majority of scholars, even the 13th of Dhul-Hijjah, right? So the Ayyam al-Tashriq and the day of Eid, it is forbidden to fast. But apart from these days, the first 9 days, it is recommended that you fast as often as you can. And in particular, even if you're not going to fast the entirety of the first 9 days, the day of Arafah. So this is the 9th of Dhul-Hajj, the day that precedes Eid. So for us, this will be on Tuesday. Well, for the whole world, it will be on Tuesday. So Tuesday, the June 27th, this is the day of Arafah, and it is sunnah to fast. It is a highly emphasized sunnah to fast on this day. In fact, the Prophet ﷺ is narrated to have said, صَوْمُ يَوْمِ عَرَفَةَ أَحْتَسِبُ عَلَى اللَّهِ أَن يُكَفِّرَ السَّنَةَ الْقَابِلَةَ وَالسَّنَةَ الْمَاضِيَةَ. That the fasting on the day of Arafah, I am optimistic that this is an expiation of the sins of the previous and the coming year. So fasting one single day is an expiation for the sins of 2 years, right? So it's this is like there is no greater discount or 2-for-1 that you can get in the entire year that you get on the day of Arafah. So all of us should try to fast. And these are the longest days of the year, but still, fasting for one day, if you remember like 8-9 years ago, this was Ramadan, right? So we know how to fast these long days, so we can fast one day, inshallah, and this will be an expiation for the sins of 2 complete years. Apart from this, then on the 10th, we will sacrifice for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Online, there is some circulation of a vegan Eid. There is no such thing as a vegan Eid. This is from the sha'air of the deen. You must sacrifice an animal for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala if you possess the means. And it is sunnah to partake in this meat yourself. So you should also, if you have the ability to, you should consume part of this meat, and you should also share it with others. There is no, this is a general just a recommendation that you should divide it into 3. That's not necessary. You divide it as you please. You eat all of it. Don't eat all of it, but if somebody were to eat all of it, that's still fine. But this is it is sunnah to perform the sacrifice, whether you perform it here or anywhere in the world. According to the majority of scholars, it's sunnah, and in the Hanafi school, it is wajib upon everybody who possesses the means to perform the sacrifice. If you haven't already made the necessary arrangements for this sacrifice, you should do so now. If you intend to do it locally, visit one of the stores or farms and do it over there. And also, as we announced this past Friday, the Masjid is collaborating with IDRF, our charity partner, to arrange for the udhiyah and the sacrifice in various Muslim countries throughout the world. So Turkey, Palestine, I believe there's Afghanistan over there, India, and there are about more than half a dozen countries. The posters are outside and on the screens. So if you have not already arranged it and you don't want to arrange it here, then you can arrange it through them. And this will be, we have been assured that this will be done after our Eid, right? After we have performed the Eid Salah in any country, any part of the world. And 100% of what they are charging is actually going towards purchasing that animal and feeding it until the time for the sacrifice is there, and then distributing it amongst those who are in need, right? So this is also an excellent opportunity to do this if we haven't already made the arrangements. And you can, for those of you who are watching this online, it's probably on your screen right now, and for those who are here in the masjid, it is on the masjid screens outside. And these are some of the things that we should do. Apart from this, of course, all other acts of worship, reciting the Quran, the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, sending salawat upon the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, making dua, all of these things are things that are recommended during these blessed 10 days of the month of Dhul-Hajj. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enable us to make the most. Today is already the 3rd, so enable us to make the most of what remains of these 10 days, and enable us to seek our forgiveness and salvation therein. Jazakumullah khairan wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam.